Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. It would seem that China is unable to provide enough weapons to their North Korean allies, so they must come to the United States to acquire weapons. It's a little odd that they're getting weapons in California, but it is showing why Chinese folks in this nation need to be monitored more. Likewise, it would seem that the CCP is making sure to infiltrate the nation for too many reasons lately. The citizens of this nation need better law enforcement and intelligence response to these threats because these failures are a threat to national security. Now, I say monitoring Chinese folks. I'm talking about actual folks from China, not Chinese folks that are Native Americans. I'm talking about folks that are here on student visas specifically, because it seems like every one of them's got student visas. North Korea is not allowed by UN decree to import or export weapons, so this could be seen as a violation. There are many ways this could go bad for other nations, as the North Koreans are unpredictable with many enemies. With attacks on the US, South Korea, and even some places in Europe, they could become a nation useful for fanatical attacks. There is much that may not be released, but there is a need to keep this from happening again. And just to talk about the embargo, and by the way, all this is going to be in my Substack down below. From the Diplomat, here's what's going on. Russia's ability to make acquisitions of complete North Korean systems or to offset the cost of doing so by exporting its own military equipment to the country has nevertheless faced international legal obstacles due to the United States Security Council sanctions regime against Pyongyang. The UNSC first imposed an arms embargo on North Korea on October 14, 2006, with the adoption of Resolution 1718, passed in response to Pyongyang's first nuclear test. The resolutions banned exports of battle tanks, armored combat vehicles, large caliber artillery systems, combat aircraft, attack helicopters, warships, missiles or missile systems, or of related material, including spare parts. This was bolstered by the adoption of Resolution 1874 on June 12, 2009, again following a North Korean nuclear test which extended the arms embargo to include all weapons exports from the country and most imports with the exception of small arms, light weapons, and related material. While no part of the customary international law prohibits weapons trade between Russia and North Korea as member states of the United Nations, both are, in the opinion of most legal experts, bound by treaty law to abide by Security Council resolutions. Russia has nevertheless, alongside China, repeatedly called for a lifting of the UNSC sanctions on North Korea since the country began a moratorium on ballistic missile and nuclear testing in early 2018 and sought to renegotiate a gradual lifting of sanctions in return for concessions on its strategic weapons programs. Indeed, when allowing for the adoption of Resolution 1874 in June 2009, Russian representatives at the Security Council insisted that these sanctions be lifted once North Korea cooperated with the international community on its weapons programs, meaning when Pyongyang began making conspicuous efforts to do so. From 2018, the sanctions regime increasingly lost Moscow's support. While the diplomatic efforts of 2018 quickly fell apart and North Korea scrapped its moratorium in favor of a record-setting number of missile launches, Russia and China have still favored a loosening of sanctions to set the scene for a new round of talks. Now, here's what happened in California, and this is via a Department of Justice press release. Xinhua Wen, 41, of Ontario, California. I like how they're saying that this person's a resident. They're on an expired student visa, so they're here illegally. Was arrested today on a criminal complaint alleging that he exported shipments of firearms, ammunition, and other military items to North Korea that were concealed inside shipping containers bound from Long Beach. When a Chinese national illegally residing in the United States was arrested this morning and is expected to make his initial appearance this afternoon in the Central District of California, according to an affidavit filed on November 26 with the complaint. When obtained firearms, ammunition, and export control technology with the intention of shipping them to North Korea, a violation of federal law and United States sanctions against the nation. When and his co-conspirators allegedly exported shipments of firearms and ammunition to North Korea by concealing the items inside shipping containers that were shipped from Long Beach through Hong Kong to North Korea. On August 14th, law enforcement seized Wynn's home 2 devices that he intended to send to North Korea for military use: a chemical threat identification device and a handheld broadband receiver that detects eavesdropping devices. On September 6, law enforcement seized approximately 50,000 rounds of 9mm ammunition that Wynn allegedly obtained to send to North Korea. A review of Wynn's iPhone revealed to law enforcement that in December 2023, Wynn smuggled items from Long Beach to Hong Kong, with their destination being North Korea. Messages received from Wynn's cell phones revealed discussions that he had earlier this year with co-conspirators about shipping military-grade equipment to North Korea. Some of these messages include photographs that Wynn sent of items controlled for export under international traffic and arms regulations. From January to April, Wynn sent emails and text messages to a U.S.-based broker about obtaining a civilian plane engine. There were also several text messages on Wynn's iPhone concerning price negotiation for the plane and its engine. Wynn is a Chinese national who is illegally in the United States after overstaying his student visa and is therefore prohibited from possessing any firearms or ammunition. Wynn lacks the required licenses from the U.S. government to export ammunition, firearms, and other devices that law enforcement seized at his home in North Korea. Well, at least he was found at some point in the scheme. So maybe it's time, with all of the student visa Chinese nationals that continuously do things of an illegal nature in our country, maybe it's time that we, stop allowing them in this country. Oh, but it'll stop Americans from going over there. Exactly. I don't want to know what's being done with these folks that are going over to China, and how many of them, considering how many of these folks we've got in this country that are hating this country, and they're supporting the Chinese Communist Party. Maybe it's time that we just stop this entire American-Chinese flow. There is something that needs to be done, or else you're going to put a lot more people in danger. Heck, people are already in danger because of this. We need to stop it. We have seen what they did with Wuhan lab. We've seen all the crimes that have been committed by these student passports. It's time that this ends. And I'm not being racist about it. I'm talking about the fact that these people are trying to commit acts of aggression. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.